I have seen death. I have seen it make its visit and then depart. Death so cowardly that it hides itself from sight. Its actions witnessable, itself witnessless. That is the way it has to be. If death could be seen, it could be fought. Could you kill death? Lucky for it, I could not witness it, pulling you away from me. I would have let go of your hand, taken both of mine and choked the life out of death. It would have been death's eyes that dulled, not yours. I would have seen death's body sprawled across the carpeted floor. As death lies there, I would have returned to you. No ambulance would have been called, no paramedics would have crowded around it. I would have not allowed anyone access who could try and resuscitate death. I would have let death die for trying to take you away. I would have taken death's corpse, thrown it in the canal, its cowl weighted with bricks. I would have watched death sink. I would let it disappear. I would be the only witness. That is what I would have done if I could see death. However, I can't. So instead, I watched it pull you away. I watched paramedics take over from me. I watched as one approached and told me they had ceased their efforts. I watched the future crumble. I watched you leave. I watched death without seeing it. What have my eyes seen? They have seen happiness crushed time and time again. They have seen so much pain, so much loneliness, so much disappointment. No matter how many volumes of positive experiences stand side by side on the bookshelf, they are always bookended with negativity. This is from my second collection of poetry I did. It's called Number 11. The world turns, bloated and gangrenous, the folly of mankind's splendour. Domination the mole at the core of a world so twisted and cold. So upon this ball of dirt, the darkness had its say. A child was born without his soul. Inside this worm it placed another, one that it could control. Stolen from the void, that soul grew inside, seeing through eyes that were not his own. A prisoner in a world that he cannot understand. The purest of heart placed inside a cripple of worthless existence. A ghost in the shell, a brain in a jar. He loved like he longed to be loved, but that was not enough. The dimensions of life so completely different. All he dreams of is to be free. Free from his burden, free from his task, free from the darkness. He wishes this freedom, even though he knows that there's nothing. His freedom would be his end. He prays for this end. He wishes it to come. Begs to the shadowy jailer. He knows it is easy to escape back into the void, but he doesn't. He doesn't for one reason. Love. He fights for it. Tries to rid himself of the darkness. Tries to exist. All of his pain. The disconnected heart in the prison of flesh. When he looks at his lover, he wants to cry. The limits of his mortal frame cannot relay the love he feels. In frustration, the machine breaks and screams. Screams at the world. Screams at the only thing that makes him want to stay. When he looks deep into the eyes of his lover, he cries. His lover doesn't know that they love a ghost. The next one's on. It's so depressing. There they go. Yeah. Get them out of the way first. So, this is called Hot Guy Number 1 and Hot Guy Number 2. Hot Guy Number 1. Italian. Short. Monroe piercing. Smoking a cigarette held in the tips of his right hand's fingers. Doesn't say a word, just smokes and waits. Waiting for his friends. He was here yesterday. Hot Guy Number 2. White, deaf, had to write on folded pieces of paper. He was cute, good handwriting. Moments like that I wish I could sign. It must be horrible not being able to hear. And this shall be my last one, and it's called A Beautiful Corpse. Every date I go on is dissected as though the spirit of Dharma has been resurrected in my mind, even though I was 11 when he died. Each final kiss an opening for a chloroformed love letter, written in the drag marks for a wooded wilderness, signed in blood and finished with a decapitated head as the final period. I cannot look at a naked body without seeing the lines of the autopsy I want to perform across its barren landscape. The pretty face that initially drew my attention shattered beneath the knuckles of my fist. There is no beauty that I cannot destroy and rearrange with my bare hands. If butchers are meat artists, I'm a meat poet, reducing beauty to its purest form without changing its structure. I have a thing for the poet Ocean Vuong. Each time I hear him speak, I want to shut him up with my cock, silence those beautiful words with an erection so solid it would shatter his teeth. Blood and cum could be the inspiration for the next poem he will never write. Whilst riding his ass, I'll stamp down on his hands as I orgasm, crush them to dust so they can no longer create the beauty they desire. Broken fingers like the broken cocks of Greek statues, Adonises with a secret lost to fantasy. Self-made, this boat is not looking for a port to settle. A relationship is not the end goal. An archipelago of asses, islands of flesh. I'm not dating guys for their brains. A drill and some battery acid will render a sexy man into a sleepy-eyed cum dump, silent in their servitude. Sex is not about them. It's about me, my pleasure in their beauty, or rather, the destruction of it, the destruction of innocence. A body floating in the crook of a river bend, naked and bloated, coloured black and blue, an exotic water lily flowering with the scent of decrepitude. The beauty of life is in its decomposition. Like Ocean Vuong wrote, on earth we're briefly gorgeous, but in our decay we are exquisite. In our deaths we become angels before returning to infinity. With my hand around your throat, I want to see the light fade from your eyes as I shoot life up into your ass. The circle only ends when you sow seed into dead earth. A kind God creates beauty, a wise one destroys it. An honest person knows that even the ugliest pig can become a beautiful corpse.
Thank you very much, Dominic.